Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi will face a challenger next week for her top spot as House Minority Leader. When her party meets for elections, Mrs. Pelosi has 14 years of experience in that position, but my next guest says her services or years of service could ultimately work against her. In an op-ed on Media General websites, he writes, quote, "In this very anti-establishment time, Pelosi is the ultimate insider. Being a San Francisco liberal doesn't help either for a party that needs to reach out to the white working class voters who bailed on Hillary Clinton. Washington insiders are betting on Pelosi, which shouldn't be comfort to her. If anything, in 2016, we have learned conventional wisdom is neither conventional nor wise." Joining me now is the writer of that article, Jim Osman, Washington Bureau Chief for Media General Television. Okay, Mr. Osman, so let's see. So do you think that it will ultimately be Mrs. Pelosi's own policies and positions that will prove to be the end of her reign, or will it be the strength of her opponent, Tim Ryan's ideas, that will come into play?
I'm not sure it's going to be so much his ideas as the time and situation. I mean, we're looking at an election where Donald Trump just won the presidency. If Hillary Clinton had won the presidency, we wouldn't be talking about this today. But because of Donald Trump's surprise win, we are. So she wasn't assured the victory in the leadership. Nonetheless, she has an opponent against her in Tim Ryan, not Paul Ryan from Wisconsin, but Tim Ryan from Ohio, from Youngstown, Hardscrabble, Ohio, and that part of the state. I think that for part of this, he thinks that he can beat her and that he has the right background at this point to challenge her, because it is those white working class voters, after all, that helped Donald Trump in Wisconsin, that helped him in Michigan, that helped him in Ohio. So I think at the end of the day, he's a strong challenger, but the money still is on Nancy Pelosi, despite what I said about her being a San Francisco liberal. Well,
and Nancy Pelosi, the most powerful woman in politics, apart from Hillary Clinton, why can't or shouldn't she stay in place?
Well, I don't know if it's for me to say why she shouldn't, but I think that why she might not is 14 years in the leadership and the fact that she represents a very liberal area of the country. After all, this is a party that's now being accused of being a coastal party. The left side of the country and the right side, and not much in the middle. Now you've got a congressman from a part of the country where white middle-class voters may think that they're not being represented by the Democratic Party. So that may be why she doesn't stay in place. Now, why she might is that she raises a lot of money for Democrats, and that's the holy grail for these folks that run for office every 2 years, and that's her plus side. Nancy Pelosi really helps out those Democrats in raising money. Now, we also need to look at this. This is a secret ballot, so that's where the chicanery could come in at the end of the day. You know, it's a secret ballot. They won't know who voted for whom. Now, we have 4 or 5 congressmen that have come out for Tim Ryan. They're taking a chance she could pay them back if she wins the leadership. But it's going to be a drip, drip, drip over the next few days. If you see 5, 10 congressional folks on the Democratic side come out for Tim Ryan, if you see more of Senate Democrats maybe questioning whether Nancy Pelosi should remain in leadership, then you may see a shift. I did notice as well in the Washington Post that Dana Milbank also said it's time for Nancy Pelosi's leadership to be over. That's important. He's a left-leaning columnist, and that will be passed around the congressional offices on the Democratic side as we head towards November 30th.
Chicanery in D.C.? Nah.
Never,
All right.
never.
All right, we move on, though. Considering the Republicans will control Congress and we'll have a Republican president, you know, how important will the personality and mediation skills of the House Minority Leader be?
I think in some sense it's the opposite about how hard charging they can be to go up against the Republicans. I mean, that's one thing that I've written and that I've read, is that even some of the established Democrats in Washington are curious whether the leadership has the vim and vigor to go up against the Republicans, or do they need younger leadership to go hard charging at the Republicans. I mean, the one big issue we're going to see over the next few years is Medicare, and the Republicans want to adjust it, and the Democrats, of course, will say that they want to keep it. And I have to wonder if Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the leadership, and it's not just her, it's Clyburn and Hoyer, whether they have the energy to really go hard charging at the Republican Party.
So, do you have a prediction?
After this year, I'm not sure I'd want to make a prediction. As I said, nothing is, conventional wisdom is neither conventional nor wise this year. I would say that the money is on Nancy Pelosi to retain her leadership after all. It's going to be an uphill fight for Tim Ryan. Let's see what happens over the next few days. If you see a number of congressmen come out 5-10 on Tim Ryan's side, we could have a race.
Jim Osman, good to see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.